Finding your own path is important. More important than most people are willing to admit. A lot of people don't actually choose what they believe, or what they like, or even what they think. They follow. They follow friends, they follow social circles, they follow whatever group feels safest. Most of the time, it isn't because they truly agree. It's because they're afraid. Afraid of being judged, afraid of being excluded, afraid of standing out. What's ironic is that they're judged anyway, sometimes even bullied. All it takes is one opinion that doesn't line up with the group, and suddenly that person becomes a problem. So people stay quiet, or they pretend to agree, or even simply they didn't hear the question, so they don't have to answer. Over time, they stop trusting themselves. They second guess what they think, what they feel, and what they actually want. Everything gets filtered through how others might react. That pressure to conform, this groupthink, these hive minds, has become normal, socially, culturally, and even politically. People are encouraged to align, not to think. And when that happens long enough, individuality starts to disappear. Finding your own path usually doesn't start with something dramatic. It starts small. Trying something new, something outside your normal routine. A different drink, a different snack, a different way of doing something. And when you do try these new things, you have to go into it open. If you decide ahead of time that you won't like it, you have already made the decision for yourself. You'll never really know what you like if you only go by what other people tell you you should or shouldn't like. Have you ever been made to feel ashamed of something you genuinely enjoyed? A hobby, music, some food, the way you spend your time? Has anyone ever told you what you were doing was wrong, even though it isn't illegal, that it wasn't hurting anyone intentionally or with malice, and it made you happy? Most people have experienced that. And sometimes it's over things that are incredibly small. How many people judge others for simply liking a certain food? what does that say about the world when you can't even enjoy basic sustenance without commentary or ridicule, let alone something that might actually truly matter to you? Somewhere along the way, people became more comfortable policing others than understanding them. So let me say this clearly. It's okay to do things you enjoy as long as they follow 3 basic rules. It's not illegal, and it doesn't hurt anyone in a malicious or intentional way. And it generally makes you happy. That's it. You don't need permission to exist the way you are. You don't need approval to enjoy what you enjoy. There is no single definition of normal. There are only different perspectives shaped by different lives, different experiences, and different environments. I've been fortunate enough to travel the world during my time I was in the military. I've seen different cultures, and I've tried different things. Some of them I liked, some of them I didn't. In Italy, I tried gelato for the first time, and I liked it. Italy's also a wine culture, obviously, and I'm still not much of a fan of that. I'll use it to cook, but I don't really care to drink it. I don't even drink much anymore. I drink about every lustrum, which is a period of 5 years. And when I was in Korea, I tried kimchi for the first time, and bibimbap. Both those things I loved. Someone also slipped me some dog. Was not a fan of that, especially when I found out what it was. Though I've heard they've since banned the practice of that. So if you go to Korea, you shouldn't have to worry. And when I was in Scandinavia, I was surprised to find that I actually enjoyed pickled herring. I also tried lutefisk. I'm never going to try that again. Some people like it, but not for me. And that's fine. The point isn't that you don't have to like everything. The point is, you won't actually know the things you like unless you experience the things for yourself. Don't just go off what other people tell you. Because if you do that, then you're just going off whatever it is that they don't like it. And a lot of times, they can't even explain it to you. They'll just say, it's just not good. And as I've said in a previous video, there's no such thing as just. There's always a why. And all of this applies to people and cultures as well. If you surround yourself with only people who think the same way you do, who say the same things you do, and agree with you on everything, you won't be challenged. You won't learn and you won't grow. And that's the point of life, is to learn and grow, and you do that by being challenged. So those who do not be around others who would challenge them are somebody who do not wish to learn or grow. So they don't want to experience what life has to offer. So if they're naysayers who are trying to put you down for wanting to do that, don't listen to them. Let them stay small. I have friends from very different backgrounds, different beliefs, and different political views, and different life experiences. I don't have to, nor do I agree with everything they think. But by listening to them, it has made me more aware, more grounded, and more understanding. I've mentioned before that I'm interested in getting my pilot's license and possibly moving to Vietnam. And also starting a photography channel. And that's one thing I allowed others to make me feel bad at because I wasn't getting things. And I let them get in my head and tell me what I was doing was wrong or I was bad at it and I shouldn't do it. So now that's why I'm getting back into photography, because I let others bully me into feeling bad about what I wanted to do and what I had an interest in. Understand those aren't paths everyone would choose. And that's okay. And not everyone can move to another country. That's just something I have in my path that I'm capable of, that I'd want to try. But most people can do something smaller. Visit a different town. Change your environment. If you live in the city, spend time in the country. And if you live in the country, spend time in the city. Exposure to difference matters. Finding your own path isn't about being rebellious. It isn't about rejecting everyone around you. And it isn't about proving anything to anyone. It's about honesty. Being honest with yourself and about what you enjoy, what you believe, and what actually brings you meaning, without filtering it through fear of judgment or the need of approval. Most people aren't unhappy because they chose the wrong path. They're unhappy because they never chose at all. They let expectations decide. They let momentum decide. They let other people's opinions decide. Over time, that creates resentment toward others, toward the world, and eventually toward themselves. Finding your own path is how you avoid that. It doesn't mean you won't make mistakes. It doesn't mean you'll always be right. And it doesn't mean everyone will understand you. But it does mean the life you're living is actually yours. There is no single definition of normal. There are only different perspectives. Find your path and walk it deliberately. And give others the space to walk theirs. That's how you grow. That's how you stay grounded. And that's how you live a life that actually feels like your own.